The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against others, it is against yourself. The world constantly pushes you into competition, whether for money, status, or approval. But Stoicism teaches that true victory is not about defeating others. It is about conquering your own weaknesses, doubts, and fears. The real enemy is not outside, it is within. In this video, we'll explore how the Stoics approach self-mastery and why overcoming yourself is the ultimate challenge. Every day, you wake up to a choice. Will you become a better version of yourself today, or will you fall back into old habits? Will you let your emotions control you, or will you control them? Will you make decisions based on reason, or will you be swayed by impulse and fear? This is the essence of UV's you. The Stoics believed that self-mastery is the key to a fulfilled life. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means that everything, your success, your peace, your strength, comes from within. The biggest challenge we face is not external circumstances, but our own thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The question is, how do we master ourselves? How do we win this battle? In this guide, we will explore the Stoic way of self-conquest, how to build discipline, resilience, and inner strength so that nothing can shake you. Most people live their lives controlled by emotions and impulses. They get angry over small things, anxious about the future, and stuck in endless cycles of procrastination and distraction. They feel lost because they let their minds be ruled by external forces, by what others think, by fleeting desires, by temporary pleasures. Imagine two people facing the same hardship. One allows frustration to take over, complains, and feels powerless. The other acknowledges the difficulty but remains composed, analyzing the situation logically and adapting to it. What makes the difference? Their mindset. The truth is, most of our suffering is self-inflicted. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, said, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the view he takes of them." This means that the way we interpret events, not the events themselves, determines our peace or suffering. If you want true power over your life, you must win the battle against your own mind. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. If you're ready to take control of your mind, break free from emotional chains, and develop the strength to handle anything life throws at you, then stay with us as we explore the Stoic way of mastering yourself. Training your mind to see the positive. The mind naturally focuses on problems and negativity. It is wired for survival, not happiness. But Stoicism teaches us that we can train our minds to interpret life differently. Marcus Aurelius faced constant war, political betrayal, and personal loss. Yet he trained himself to see every difficulty as a lesson. He wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." Instead of reacting emotionally to setbacks, pause and ask yourself, how can I grow from this? Reframe negative situations by focusing on the lesson rather than the loss. Athletes who suffer career-threatening injuries but come back stronger by using the time to rebuild themselves embody this principle. Each night, write down one challenge you faced and how it helped you grow. Over time, this will rewire your brain to see obstacles differently. 2. Using logic to override fear. Fear is one of the biggest enemies of progress. It paralyzes people, keeps them from taking action, and prevents them from reaching their full potential. Seneca, One of the most famous Stoics wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the fears we have never actually happen, and even when they do, they are rarely as bad as we imagine. When you feel afraid, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Then ask, how would I handle it? Break fear down into logical steps and plan for each possibility. This reduces its power over you. Public speakers who once had extreme stage fright but overcame it by consistently exposing themselves to uncomfortable situations. Make a list of things you fear, then challenge each fear with logic. You'll realize most fears have solutions. 3. Developing mental toughness. Through discomfort, most people seek comfort, but growth comes from discomfort. Stoicism teaches that we should voluntarily expose ourselves to challenges so that we become unbreakable. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship, fasting, sleeping on the floor, and exposing themselves to discomfort to build resilience. Take cold showers, fast occasionally, or practice going without luxuries. This makes you mentally stronger. Whenever you feel like quitting something difficult, remind yourself that pain is temporary, but weakness lasts. Elite military training uses discomfort to build discipline and endurance. Pick one small discomfort to endure daily, whether waking up early, exercising intensely, or avoiding distractions, and stick to it. 4. Becoming unshakable in the face of adversity. Stoicism is about inner strength, becoming someone who cannot be easily broken by external events. Epictetus, despite being a former slave, never let external events dictate his inner peace. He believed that true freedom comes from controlling how you respond to life. Whenever something goes wrong, remind yourself, this is outside my control, but my reaction is within my control. Practice responding with calmness instead of reacting with emotion. Successful entrepreneurs who lost everything but remained calm and rebuilt from scratch. Whenever you face a stressful situation, pause for 10 seconds before responding. This builds the habit of control. 5. Mastering the art of letting go. Of the hardest battles in life is learning to let go of control, of expectations, of attachments that no longer serve us. Most of our suffering comes from resisting change and clinging to things outside our control. The Stoics taught that true power comes from surrendering to reality and focusing only on what we can change: our thoughts, actions, and mindset. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. He understood that much of life is unpredictable, and that fighting against reality only leads to frustration. The wise person learns to adapt rather than resist. When faced with disappointment, remind yourself, was this ever truly in my control? If not, let it go. Detach from rigid expectations. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and that's okay. Practice acceptance by repeating the phrase amor fati, love of fate. Instead of resenting challenges, embrace them as part of your journey. Athletes who lose a crucial game but move forward instead of dwelling on the past. Those who accept failure as a lesson rather than an identity. Each night, reflect on one thing you held onto emotionally during the day. Ask yourself, did holding on to this make me stronger or weaker? If it made you weaker, commit to letting it go. Mastering the art of letting go isn't about giving up, it's about freeing yourself from unnecessary suffering and focusing on what truly matters. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that nothing outside of you has power over you anymore. No insult can break you. No failure can stop you. No challenge can overwhelm you. This is the power of mastering yourself. When you win the battle against your own emotions, doubts, and fears, you become truly free. The world can throw anything at you, but you remain unshaken. The Stoics understood that real strength comes from within. When you control your mind, you control your life. We have explored the Stoic philosophy of you, the battle within. From training your mind to see the positive, to overriding fear, to embracing discomfort, every step leads you towards self-mastery. The world will always challenge you, but the real question is, will you be your own worst enemy or your greatest ally? The choice is yours. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic insights. Let's continue this journey of self-mastery together.